Welcome to this week's coffee tasting. Today, not only is it a new coffee, I'm also in a slightly new location. This morning, I broke my cupping table, I smashed a glass, I cut my finger, and I had to bin it. And anyway, here we are, inside of my office, throwing together some sort of janky studio of some description. Anyway, so excuse the echo, excuse the hideous lighting. Anyway, so what coffee is this? Washed coffee, Ethiopia, mixed heirloom varietals, and grown between 1900 and 2100 meters above sea level. So the expectation with this as a roaster is that there's going to be A, quite a lot of acidity, and B, we want to access as much of the fruit characteristics of the cup as possible. So my plan when it came to roasting these batches, of which I did 4, 3 for our subscribers and an additional floating batch that I would take through to the farmers markets that we do. So roast methodology would be hard and fast. I need to roast this on my Probat between 10 and 10 and a half minutes. We could have gone a little quicker, but I need some degree of balance as well. So as a roaster, you'll understand that most of the flavor and flavor balance within the cup is met by color and time. So understanding the end color that you're going to go to and also the time in which you're going to roast it has a big consequence on overall flavor. So 10 to 10 and a half minutes was the idea. Lots of gas early up front. It's been a very cold week in the roastery, so I actually really needed that additional gas. So we were going 100% of gas through to about 160 degrees, which is the onset of the Maillard reactions. And then from there, tapering it down so that I can control the development of the coffee once we get towards first crack and into the end of the roast. First crack happened with this at about 9 minutes. It was just a little short of 9 minutes. And then I had a minute and a half development time. Now, the quandary with this coffee, as with some Ethiopian coffees, is that first crack can happen in slightly different places than you would expect. So my expectation on my probes and my machine is around 198 degrees Celsius, you'd find the onset of first crack. With this, I could begin to hear some pops at about 194, 195. They weren't rolling pops, but they were just little tiny pops. So maybe when I go through to the final couple of roasts that I've got of this, that I would pull back my first crack marker from 198 down to maybe 197, something like that. That would assist in a little bit more fruit in the cup. But anyway, that's by the by. So total development time was 1 minute 32 for these, and a consequence of that is a nice degree of fruit, but some balance and some perceived sweetness as well. I need, because of our water profile in the area that I roast, so that's a very hard water area, I do like to have some balance. I don't like it to be a thin or light cup per se. So that minute and a half development time allows me to get some of those textures out post first crack. So let's have a quick taste. Right, so this is a filter batch. So I'm hoping to achieve lots of clarity in the cup. The first thing that you'll note with this coffee is that there's this really wonderful play between little red fruits, so like cranberry and a blood orange. But it isn't all acidity in your face. There's also a really lovely sweetness as well, and it's soft. It's like candy floss soft. So we've put a flavor descriptive sponge cake, and it really does have that. It has that sort of sweet, pillowy type of character that wraps a bright cranberry and blood orange, like red scented orange. So nice acidity, good sweetness, and the finish I would say is a little typical of washed Ethiopians. That has this like hint of chocolate in there as well, but it's a really delightful and very well balanced coffee. As it cools, there's an increasing amount of this, the acidity that comes through. So on the side of your palate, it's really quite nice and sparkly. But I can't emphasize this enough. It is an exceptionally well-balanced coffee. And I really do think that that extra few seconds of development time post first crack really assisted in giving this coffee some harmony. So how would I brew this? Filter would be my preference. Why? Because it just allows the coffee to open up. Full immersion brewing would work really well. I think there would be a lot of this sweetness that comes through. To be fair, the balance in this would also allow you to do espresso as well. Would it pair well with milk? Possibly not, but worth a go. You know, if you're that type of person who likes a fruit-forward espresso, I think this would be one that's really great for you. So to recap, washed Ethiopian coffee, 19 to 2100 meters above sea level, mixed heirloom varietals. Expect blood orange and cranberry wrapped in a real sweet cake-like character and a smidge of chocolate on the finish. Next week, I should be back in the roastery, one hopes, if I've fixed my cupping table. Otherwise, see you again next time.